What's going on? I'm Mathieu,
I'm Matteo.
and today we're going to be talking about Lamborghini and anything to do with it. Just the brand itself, the Huracan, the Aventador, and the Urus, which is the SUV that's supposed to come out in 2018. Correct.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about the horsepower. Matteo, you have your opinion on this?
Yeah, so the horsepower, they use PS, and then most people end up using like HP for horsepower, metric horsepower. So they do their numbers like 750, which would be about 739 horsepower, but 750 PS, which I don't know, it kind of annoys me.
Yeah. So you think it's kind of like
Yeah, like they should just stick with the horsepower and just do it, because most people go by horsepower anyways. They should just keep it with the horsepower and just keep all their numbers exact.
Do you think this is like a way of like, kind of like making it seem better in a way, or is
Yeah,
it just
trying
like
to make people think that it actually has more horsepower.
yeah,
Not really, because it has, 10 horsepower? Once you're at 750, it really doesn't matter.
yeah,
10 horsepower.
yeah? No, I would just say that like it's not really like it's not really something. It's not really on purpose. I don't think that they'll use that to make it seem larger. I think it's just that's just their way of doing it, and that some people just have their opinions on it. And when it comes to horsepower with Lamborghinis, it's going to be up there anyway because they're performance cars. So I think if that really matters to you, then you can use a converter if you want.
I'll just change.
But I mean, like in my opinion, anything over 500 horsepower is pretty fast. Let's talk about the tech. There was a time when like all the super luxury brands like Lamborghini and Ferrari and Porsche, they always had like the newest tech in their cars, and it was kind of like the usual lower companies were just trying to learn from those and kind of find a way to make it cheaper so that they can incorporate it in their cars.
Mm-hmm. But now technology is so cheap that Lamborghini's just sticking with the cheap stuff, and they're not really making anything new and revolutionary.
Yeah, I personally think that this needs to be changed, because it's kind of like now if I go to like a Nissan dealership
I'll get the
and
same thing.
I'm getting myself like an Altima or something, I'm gonna have the same navigation and everything as is in my Aventador.
Yeah.
And I think this is kind of like part of the user, like the experience of having the car is just to be in such an advanced machine.
Yeah.
And I think this is kind of missing.
And especially now with new people coming in, Lamborghinis, like, they still make their ridiculously insane cars. But there's new people that are coming in and going less horsepower, more aerodynamics, cheaper, and it's just destroying them.
Yeah. I would have to agree with that.
All right, so now let's talk about some stuff about the Huracan.
Yeah.
What do you think about having no USB ports?
Again, that's like just like the newer technology, except it's kind of like reverse. Is that if I were to go into my Altima, I could just plug in my phone, but I can't plug in my phone in my Huracan.
Yeah, I want to listen to some music. Well, you can always use Bluetooth, but you want to charge your phone.
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning, I forgot to charge my phone at night.
Yeah.
And I'm going to hop in my Lamborghini and I'm
exactly.
Go, oh, well, I guess my phone's not getting charged right now.
No, but I still understand kind of in a way how the Huracan is the top like performance vehicle that Lamborghini is making right now, and how really it's more of like you're gonna take your Lamborghini on the track. It's not really, I'm just going to go get the groceries in my Lamborghini Huracan. But I think when you're talking about like the bare minimum, it should have a USB in it. I think
100%.
That's kind of that wasn't really a smart move, to be honest.
No, it's not like it's the weight saving one, like the Performante. I understand SV, okay, whatever, but you're still gonna have to drive it, and you still want the creature comforts that every other car has nowadays.
Yeah. The Aventador doors. You had your opinion on this.
That always annoys me. Like, the Aventador doors is so cool, and you want to buy a Lamborghini, you want to get those doors, and then you don't. If you buy the Huracan, it might most people say that it drives better than the Aventador, but it doesn't have doors.
Yeah, it's weird
One
how
thing.
like
Yeah.
because the Huracan is the better performance car out of the two, and it's kind of weird how the Huracan doesn't feature the kind of the
That
one of the
huge door,
cooler
yeah.
aspects that Lamborghini has in their cars, which is this like swinging upwards doors,
Yeah,
which is
and-
only found in the Lamborghini now. The Aventador now.
Yeah, but then again, like I'd go buy a 650S or a 570S from McLaren, and they both have it.
Yeah,
Like the smaller car has the same doors as the bigger car.
yeah,
I don't know. That's one thing. It's not even. They already have all the mechanics and everything. It
yeah,
wouldn't take that long to would have done that.
yeah. So, pricing for the Huracan and the Aventador. Matteo, you think that, and I would have to agree with that too. Aventador's fairly overpriced,
Oh, 100%.
and the current Huracan is like the value for what you're getting for it is.
It's so much better than.
Yeah,
But then again, you'll look and like brand new ones are like $350,000, oh, close to 400 sometimes.
right.
And whereas like used ones you can get for under $300,000.
And then
So-
the Aventador,
The used market's so much better.
and then the Aventador, the
Personally.
newer ones.
The newer Aventadors are like $550.
Yeah,
It's insane.
and then the
Canadian,
used
$550.
ones don't drop that much either.
Yeah, the lowest one 2012, which is already 5 years old.
Yeah, it's still pretty
It's
up
still
there.
$350,000.
Yeah,
So you can either get a brand new Huracan or a 5-year-old Aventador.
yeah.
But then you're gonna have to look at the doors.
And I think what I think about this is it should be different. I feel like and I kind of have like my opinion on both cars just being compared is that the Aventador should be more of kind of like the luxury
Yeah.
everyday. I mean, I don't really want to use the word everyday with the Lamborghini,
But you're spending that much money, you should be able to drive it whenever
Yeah.
you want.
yeah, I think the Aventador should be more of the creature comforts, nice interior, and you'll
it
be
seems
able to
like the
use it every
opposite.
day. And the Huracan, since it is better in terms of performance, should be
A stripped
this
out.
the super performance car that you go on the track with, and it's just
Yeah,
super
The
fast.
Aventador should be the one that you can go around in traffic and everybody sees you and they're like, oh, wow.
Wow, yeah,
And you can just get all the loud noises, the pops, everything, and like going 50 kilometers an hour.
yeah,
And stop and go traffic.
yeah. I think I think the prices should be switched for that reason. Is that the Huracan is already the more performance-y kind of
Oriented car, yeah.
oriented car, and the Aventador more the luxury. And I think with the new Aventador S,
Yeah, I think
they
they're going to
kind of been
change
going towards that,
towards the luxury side.
towards
yeah.
just based on the interior,
Yeah,
just like the
interior and,
look
like,
of it. It kind of
it's
looks
so
like
much
the
more
leather.
and
The leather
everywhere.
looks more. There's more
Yeah.
leather used, especially like on the dashboard too, and it
Yeah.
looks more premium, which is I think that's like the first
It's
step.
better, yeah.
and
it's a
I
step
think
towards-
that's what it should be. The prices need to be switched.
Yeah. So, like, if you're looking for a Lamborghini Huracan, there's a bunch of different stuff you can go with. You can get the R8 with the same.
Yeah.
With the same engine. Like, if somebody doesn't care about having the brand name behind it, they can go $100,000 cheaper and get a brand new R8.
Mm-hmm.
Or they can go up a little bit and they can get a McLaren 650S. It's more horsepower.
Yeah.
About the same performance, and you get the doors.
Yeah.
Even like, there's some cheap ones that are just under $300,000 that are software used. Spiders, convertibles
Yeah.
for $289, just under 300. It's amazing. Especially like even if you don't want to be like a less showy, you can go with a Turbo S
Yeah.
or a GT3 RS. If you want like the more track oriented version.
Yeah. And those are better value for the money
Oh,
compared to an
100%.
Aventador.
Yeah. Well, you can't really compare those to Aventador.
Oh yeah, that's true.
The
That's true.
Aventador, you'll go like. There's nothing that you can compare with the Aventador. That's why it's so expensive.
Yeah.
An F12, Ferrari F12. That's what it should become. It should become like that.
Mm.
Like mid-engine V12 with all the luxuries. Because like the F12 is a luxury Ferrari.
Yeah, and I think that's how it should be. Like the new Aventador S, They have the leather interior, what it looks like a nicer leather interior,
Yeah.
which is good.
I can't wait to see.
It is the better looking car.
Oh,
I would say
100%.
from the outside of it.
Oh, it's so nice. It's one
Like,
of the
I
nicest
think-
cars,
I think-
especially the SV. I love the Aventador SV.
Yeah, I think most people would agree that the Aventador
It's
does have
better looking.
like just with the straight, like the edges and
Yeah, all
everything,
the
and the
edges.
sharp kind of.
Everything that pops up when you're going.
Exactly,
to
it's definitely
so cool.
you notice it more. Like if you were to pick both cars just based on looks, like the Aventador and the Huracan, based off looks, I think I'd just go for the
Oh yeah, if you
Aventador.
didn't know the price, you didn't know.
If I didn't know that-
if somebody was gonna give one to you, you'd get the Aventador. Of
Probably,
course.
yeah,
Okay, so now the Aventador's transmission.
yes. You also have your opinion on this.
Yeah,
you
the
have
Huracan
pretty
has a
strong
nice
opinion.
dual clutch. Everything now has a dual clutch. All its competitors have a dual clutch. I don't understand why they didn't change it for the SV or change it for the Aventador S to
Mhm.
get a dual clutch. So will they still have the? Every review I've watched is a clunky single clutch transmission.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's another thing that I don't know why it's little things that they could change, which would make a big difference.
yeah. I mean, we were talking about how like the Huracan should be the more performance oriented one, but I mean, it is still a Lamborghini, so
It
the
still has
Aventador
the-
should
yeah.
still have the dual clutch.
Of course.
Yeah.
The big topic.
Oh, the Lamborghini Urus, which is the SUV that Lamborghini is supposed to come out with in 2018. They predict that they'll be doubling their sales with the release of this vehicle.
Which would be insane because the Huracan's like the most. The Gallardo was the most sold Lamborghini ever. And now the Huracan even passed that.
Yeah.
So doubling, I'm not sure because I don't think there's that many people willing to pay almost $300,000 for an SUV.
Yeah, because the most expensive SUV that is probably in like the same boat as what would be the Lamborghini Urus is the Bentley Bentayga,
Yeah,
which is priced at $315,000.
but I think it's gonna be like a different. They're gonna be different because like the Bentayga's all luxury and everything.
Mhm,
The Bentayga, I wouldn't even look at if I was looking at Urus. It's
mhm.
like it's more expensive and you get less. You just get more luxury. That's it.
Yeah, but like when we were talking about the Aventador, how it should be like the more luxury oriented car. I feel like the Urus should be even more
Oh, it should be.
luxurious than
it
the
should be-
Aventador.
It should be a backseat Lamborghini. It should be the one that you sit in the back of.
Yeah, I think that because the pictures of the interior
They look insane.
that we've seen.
But they look like a Sesto Elemento. They look like they're just pads stuck onto
No,
hard back shells.
yeah, like was it?
They don't
It
look
wasn't
comfortable.
Yeah, I think it needs to be like Bentley Bentayga level
For a cheaper price.
of comfort.
Yeah.
For a cheaper price, which it's supposedly supposed
Yeah, it's
to be 270.
270,000 new.
Yes.
Canadian. These are all Canadian prices. The Bentayga's like 315. So if they can shoot for that level, or even just under that level, because people will buy it because it's a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Just on if they can shoot in the realm of the Bentayga, then they can sell double no problem. But if they're gonna make it a car which isn't very luxurious, and it doesn't have the Lamborghini V12, I don't think there's gonna be
Right,
enough
the
buyers.
engine. And so the new Lamborghini Urus is supposed to have a twin turbo V8, and both Matteo and I think we have our opinions on might it have been better if there was a V10 or a V12, but
Even
more towards the V10.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But
They
I
should've
see it.
just they just spent more money now.
Yeah.
Just making a brand new engine when they could have just took. I understand how it's naturally aspirated and you want the twin turbos because it's going to be an SUV, so they might actually use it every day.
Hmm.
So you want the fuel efficiency. But if you're buying a Lamborghini, you really don't care.
Yeah.
I don't think you care about the fuel efficiency.
Now, if you think about like the two views on this, you kind of have like, I mean, if you're gonna buy a Lamborghini SUV to use as like your daily SUV, I don't know if that matters very much. If you're just like someone that, oh cool, Lamborghini has an SUV now,
May as well.
and I
go-
kind of want to use my
Yeah.
SUV as my family vehicle, like drive my kids to school, just go to work or whatever. I think the twin turbo V8 versus a V10 or a V12, I wouldn't see that as a huge deal.
Yeah, but I think there should at least be an option.
Yeah.
Like, you can get, there's like 12 options for a Cayenne. You can go from like
Yeah.
a 300 horsepower diesel to like, they're going to make a 680 horsepower electrically assisted Turbo S.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
There should be a twin turbo V8 option. They should take the V10 out of the Huracan and make that an option, and the V12 and make that an option.
Yeah.
And price increases every single time. And
yeah.
That they'd make so much more profit because people will buy it just to have the V12. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, the V8, then, oh, the V10's not that much more. Oh, the V12's not that much more. And then they'd end up buying the V12.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I think you kind of have like that, the Lamborghini kind of, Lamborghini enthusiast kind of view on it, where like, you know, you want the big engine even though it's an SUV because
you
you're
have
kind of
young kids, you have car seats. Okay, put the car seats in the back. I want my Aventador too. So then you take the engine, you stick it in there.
Yeah, and so you have the kind of the Lamborghini enthusiast view on it, and I think if you kind of want, just like I was saying, just an SUV that you drive your kids to school in, I think that wouldn't really matter to much people just having the V8. But I think, because honestly, maybe I would have expected a V10 if the price was a bit higher.
I expected a V8 because like all the competitors, except for the Bentley, because like if it wants, Bentley has the W12.
Mm-hmm.
I expected it to have a V8, but if that helps them go like under the $300,000 mark, then that's fine.
Yeah,
I think the other ones would have brought the price over 300, and they can't double. Not that many people can afford an over $300,000 SUV.
Yeah.
For $300,000, you'll get the Porsche Cayenne Turbo S for $200,000, and then you'll buy an $100,000, or you'll keep that $100,000 until you have more and buy a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Buy the Huracan.
Yeah. What do you think about the exterior of the Urus? Just with the pictures that they have been released.
I don't know. I like it, but it's not gonna end up looking like that.
Yeah.
There's gonna be some different tweaks that they're gonna do, and it's not gonna look like that crazy because they're not gonna have a high production car that looks like that.
Mm-hmm.
Some people just want an understated Lamborghini SUV. They want the engine.
Yeah. No, I just think they did, just based on the pictures that have been released that we've seen now, I think they did a good job of making it looks like a Lamborghini.
Oh, 100%.
It definitely looks like a Lamborghini, but they didn't make it look like ugly. You know, they didn't make it look like it was just like a bigger Aventador or like a bigger Huracan. I think they did a good job.
It's not like the 911 and the Panamera where they just stretched it.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, personally, if we're talking about the Panamera, before the newer ones,
one that came out,
I probably wouldn't look at that.
I would never look
but
at
now, just like
I wouldn't have wanted to look at it.
Yeah, because I think, like you were saying, that's just what they did. They took like a 911 and they just kind of stretched it out, and it looked like some 911 limousine.
It was supposed to drive amazing, but you can't look at it. You can't go into your garage and just see it and then be like, wow, I bought that.
Yeah, no, but I think
it's an acquired taste.
It is. Yeah, I would have to say. But I think they did, the looks of the SUV are pretty good.
Yeah.
I think like I was saying, they didn't make it too Aventador Huracan-ish, and they didn't make it
too safe. They didn't go too Q5.
They didn't make it look like not an Aventador. Yeah. A Lamborghini.
Yeah, they didn't make it look like. They didn't make it look like the Q5, which everybody has. Everybody has a Q5.
Right? Yeah.
It's not gonna be some mainstream car, which is good. I've never seen a Bentayga. I've never seen one.
Really?
Yeah, there are a couple Model X's around my neighborhood, but I've never seen a Bentayga.
Yeah, no.
I don't think they're doing great. They probably have great promotions on now just to get rid of them because they're so expensive.
Yeah, but I think Lamborghini did a good job because, like we were talking about before, the super overpriced Aventador.
But
I think they did a good job now of pricing it fairly well. You know, it's more expensive than the Model X.
But I think
or
what happened,
the X5.
yeah, when they learned, like they made the Huracan 2012, right?
Mhm.
And then they made the Aventador 2012, and then they started the Huracan in 15.
Yeah.
And between 2012 and 2015, there's so many cars that came out with the lower prices. So when they made the
Yeah.
Huracan, they had to match that price. But the Aventador, they already had the price high. They have to just keep it high.
Yeah.
And now the Urus, they're learning that they have to actually compete with other companies. People aren't just going to go and buy it. Because
Yeah.
other cars are so good now that people won't just go and spend the money if they don't need to.
Mhm. Now, just in your opinion, you have the price of what is supposed to be 270 grand for the Urus.
Yeah.
And then you have, let's say, a Cayenne Turbo S, which is around 200 grand. Would you pay the extra, what is supposed to be $70,000, just to have kind of that Lamborghini name on it,
So
and the Lamborghini SUV, like that you have it, and kind of, like, yeah, like, would you
and
pay
from
that
the
extra 70
pictures
grand?
that we've seen and like the seats and everything,
Do you think the extra,
what can I do with that $70,000 if I don't use it? Can I just keep it?
yeah,
So I'd probably end up with the Turbo S.
yeah,
Cause like if I want to show off, I'm not gonna drive a nice SUV.
yeah,
I'll save my money. I'll get
because
a 458. I love the 458.
the Cayenne is an
That's good
amazing
for
SUV.
Yeah, the Cayenne's great.
It's amazing.
For the price, you can't compare it.
Mm-hmm. So it's just a matter, I think, personal
Your preferences.
preference.
Yeah, personal preference.
And
if that $70,000 is in your pocket anyway,
if $270,000 is burning a hole in your pocket,
then why not just
and you're looking for like a really nice SUV, then sure. But I like you, I would probably go for the Cayenne.
Yeah,
as
I'd
well.
probably go for the Cayenne, or I'd get the Model X.
Yeah.
Just because I like all the new tech and I'm interested in like all those features and everything.
Yeah, just like going back to tech again.
Yeah.
What do you thinking about that for the Urus? What do you think for the tech? I think
it's gonna be better because I think it's supposed to be their family-oriented, high-selling car, so they're just gonna go all out. And
I think that's what they need to do.
Yeah.
Especially with the price. I mean, I
price
definitely don't think they're gonna be beating the Model X in terms of tech.
No, nobody
But
can beat the Tesla.
yeah, right, because they can't be beat.
Nobody's close.
But I think they really it better be better than the Aventador and the Huracan.
Yeah, I think
it needs to be. That's what it has to be.
All right, so I think we're done here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys should comment what engine do you think they should give options for the V10, the V12? You think it should just be the twin turbo V8, the V10, or the V12?
Yeah. What do you think about the price too?
Yeah. What do you think about the price, and what else? What would you get?
Yeah. Just Bentayga, the new Urus, the Cayenne, or Range Rover SVR, a GLE, or like a G65,
yeah, like a G-Class,
or even the Tesla too.
Yeah, or you have the X5M. Those are less luxurious, but they're also like
good,
less than half the price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, just sound off in the comments what your opinion is. This is our opinion.
Yeah.
This is what we think. We'd love to hear your opinion.
All right. See you guys next episode.